No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. You wouldn't worry so much about what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. Never allow a person to tell you no who doesn't have the power to say yes. Friendship with oneself is all important because, without it, one cannot be friends with anyone else in the world. Many people will walk in and out of your life, but only true friends will leave footprints in your heart. With the new day comes new strength and new thoughts. A woman is like a tea bag. You can't tell how strong she is until you put her in hot water. I am who I am today because of the choices I made yesterday. I never waste time looking back. It isn't enough to talk about peace. One must believe in it. And it isn't enough to believe in it. One must work at it. I believe anyone can conquer fear by doing the things he fears to do, provided he keeps doing them until he gets a record of successful experience behind him. Since you get more joy out of giving joy to others, you should put a good deal of thought into the happiness you are able to give. The giving of love is an education in itself. Do what you feel in your heart to be right, for you'll be criticized anyway. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. The purpose of life is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experience. We are afraid to care too much, for fear that the other person does not care at all. You can often change your circumstances by changing your attitude. Do not stop thinking of life as an adventure. You have no security unless you can live bravely, excitingly, imaginatively, unless you can choose a challenge instead of competence. Life was meant to be lived, and curiosity must be kept alive. One must never, for whatever reason, turn his back on life. It is not fair to ask of others what you are not willing to do yourself. You have to accept whatever comes, and the only important thing is that you meet it with the best you have to give. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Think as little as possible about yourself. Think as much as possible about other people. What could we accomplish if we knew we could not fail? In the long run, we shape our lives, and we shape ourselves. The process never ends until we die. And the choices we make are ultimately our own responsibility. To be mature, you have to realize what you value most. Not to arrive at a clear understanding of one's own values is a tragic waste. You have missed the whole point of what life is for. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. Do the things that interest you and do them with all your heart. Don't be concerned about whether people are watching you or criticizing you. The chances are that they aren't paying attention to you. Since everybody is an individual, nobody can be you. You are unique. No one can tell you how to use your time. It is yours. Your life is your own. You mold it. You make it. Character building begins in our infancy and continues until death. Success must include two things: the development of an individual to his utmost potentiality and a contribution of some kind to one's world. When you have decided what you believe, what you feel must be done, have the courage to stand alone and be counted. Happiness is not a goal, it is a byproduct. Life is like a parachute jump. You've got to get it right the first time. Courage is exhilarating. Before we can make friends with anyone else, we must first make friends with ourselves. I'm so glad I never feel important. It does complicate life. All of life is a constant education. Have convictions. Be friendly. Stick to your beliefs as they stick to theirs. Work as hard as they do. It seems to me of great importance to teach children respect for life. Today is the oldest you've ever been, and the youngest you'll ever be again. Enjoy every minute you have with those you love, my dear, for no one can take joy that is passed away from you. It will be there in your heart to live on when the dark days come. A stumbling block to the pessimist is a stepping stone to the optimist. One's philosophy is not best expressed in words, it is expressed in the choices one makes, and the choices we make are ultimately our responsibility. If life were predictable, it would cease to be life, and be without flavor. My experience has been that work is almost the best way to pull oneself out of the depths. It is not more vacation we need, it is more vocation. What you don't do can be a destructive force. Understanding is a two-way street. It takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. The only things one can admire at length are those one admires without knowing why. People grow through experience if they meet life honestly and courageously. Hate and force cannot be in just a part of the world without having an effect on the rest of it. I could not at any age be content to take my place in a corner by the fireside and simply look on. I think that somehow, we learn who we really are and then live with that decision. Ambition is pitiless. Any merit that it cannot use it finds despicable. If someone betrays you once, it's their fault. If they betray you twice, it's your fault. Justice cannot be for one side alone, but must be for both. One thing life has taught me, if you are interested, you never have to look for new interests. They come to you. When you are genuinely interested in one thing, it will always lead to something else. Nothing has ever been achieved by the person who says, "It can't be done." There are no have-tos, just choices. Never be bored, and you will never be boring. I am convinced that every effort must be made in childhood to teach the young to use their own minds. For one thing is sure, if they don't make up their minds, someone will do it for them.